What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react and learn about the 10 oldest cities in the UK. So, to be completely honest, as an American, this is probably one of the things I am most jealous of about the UK. You guys have a much longer, interesting history, and with that comes all of these cool places. So today, I really want to check out this video. This is by Alex in Great Britain, and he has compiled a list of the 10 oldest cities in all of the UK. So, let's take a look.
For perspective, the oldest UK city with a definitive date is believed to be Durham, founded in AD 995, assuming
Oh my god. I mean, I'm not even talking about how old this place is. What's it called? Durham? I've not heard of that before. Durham, not that I know of, but just besides all that, look at it. Just look at it. This is you would never see something like this here in America. I've never seen anything close to this. This is like when Frodo was sailing down the river in Lord of the Rings, and there's like these insane giant behemoth monuments and buildings, and that's insane. It's beautiful, and it's like the fact that this stuff actually exists. I mean, I don't know if you live in the UK, maybe this is just like normal to you, and it's like it becomes normalized. But I'm telling you, for a lot of us in America and other countries around the world, I'm sure this stuff is not normal. This is crazy.
the records of the time are accurate. So the 10 oldest cities, in order from north to south, rather than chronological order, as that part is unknown, are as follows.
Okay.
Number 1.
Oh wow.
Originally a Roman settlement founded in AD 71 under the name Eboracum, the city of
Ooh.
York is situated at the confluence of the River Ouse and
York. I have heard of York. I think I've learned a little bit about York, although I'm not that familiar with the city. Already off the bat, you start noticing things from my American point of view, such as like the little stone wall on the left-hand side, and I don't know. Let's let the poor narrator keep talking.
River Foss, and it became a suitable outpost at which the Romans could suppress the local tribe, the Brigantes. In the 4th century, Emperor
Wow.
Constantine the Great was declared Roman Emperor in York, and he became the first to allow Christians to worship freely, and by the year 314, Eboracum had its first bishop. In
Oh
the
wow.
7th century, the
Oh my god. So basically, we're going to see the 10 oldest cities in geographical order, he said, not chronological order, because it's not actually known specifically the dates of the oldest cities and exactly how old they are. That's interesting. But anyway, taking a look at York. I didn't know York was one of the oldest cities in the UK, by the way, because I've heard of that one. Um, but going back to the architecture, the just how it's designed, how it looks. Look at this. Look at this street, this alleyway, this road. Look at it. It's getting me worked up because this is something for Americans that we associate this with movies, films, television, this kind of thing. All the buildings crammed together, hanging over the road with the cool stone brick on the left, and it's ridiculous. Like I can't even imagine like living here.
Saxons came and named it Eoforwic, with the wick suffix suggesting that it was a trading centre. In 601, Pope Gregory sent a mission to convert the British to Christianity, He selected York to be the church's centre in the north.
Ah, okay.
In 735, York became an archbishopric. In AD 866,
8866. So we are getting some dates. Holy cow. This is, if you're a history buff, this is like heaven. We get to look through the oldest cities, and the narrator is telling us like all these cool historical background facts. So this is great.
the Danish Vikings conquered Eoforwic and put their own Scandinavian spin on it, naming it Jorvik, and made it their effective capital in the British Isles.
Danish Vikings took over York? Is that what he said? Vikings from Denmark took over York? Is that what he said?
Its iconic cathedral, York Minster, or to give it its official name, the Cathedral and Metropolitan Church of St. Peter in York,
Ridiculous.
was consecrated in 1472.
This is ridiculous. That human beings could build something like this is outrageous. This is like peak humanity. Like, we just went downhill after you guys built these cathedrals and like the pyramids of Egypt. It's like right there. It's like, how did we do this?
On the site of an old Saxon church, believed to date from the 7th century, which in turn was on the site of the old Roman Basilica. This is, of course, the seat of the Archbishop of York.
Okay. Wow.
Number 2.
Okay.
In the 6th century, St. Dainiol founded a monastery in a settlement in the area we now refer to as North Wales. This became known as Bangor, meaning wattled enclosure in old.
Bangor? Never heard of this before. I'm glad Wales is getting like a shout out here. I feel like as far as the UK goes, for Americans, Wales is not really talked about at all. So I'm glad it's getting a little shout out here. Bangor? That sounds like a fantasy name.
In Old Welsh. Dainiol became the first bishop of Bangor in the Kingdom of Gwynedd. On the site of the original monastery is Bangor Cathedral, which was built in the 12th and 13th centuries. Restorations took place over the centuries following various attacks, including one instance when King John destroyed it during a raid on Gwynedd. Bangor is the oldest city in Wales, or to put it another way, the oldest city in the UK outside of England.
Oldest city in Wales, oldest city outside of England in general. This seems like a very peaceful sort of city. The cathedrals, the buildings, even the layout of the city, it's not as grandiose and insane as some of the other places, I think. But there's something very peaceful and beautiful about this place anyway, that the buildings are all very far apart. It has a cathedral. It seems like a very practical, normal sort of city with these beautiful touches.
Number 3. In the 7th century, St. Chad, Bishop of Mercia, declared this city his bishop's seat. The settlement was Lichfield, and it became the focal point of Christianity in the Kingdom of Mercia.
Lichfield? I feel like there's going to be a lot of places I've just never heard of before, ever. Lichfield? Look at this building. Look at this. Who did this?
Following Chad's death in 672, Lichfield.
And look at this building. There's a sign. This is the Pig. Is this a pub? Is that a pub when it's just called the Pig? Or is that like a butchery? Or I don't know. It doesn't matter. It gets me excited because in America we don't have like pubs. We don't have cool old buildings with signs hanging over that is like, this is the Pig. It's like, oh, it's named after an animal. Wow. It's probably like so like boring and not boring, but you know, like normal and typical in Britain. But yeah, I never get to see stuff like this.
Lichfield became a place of pilgrimage. A Saxon church was built, which became his resting place. In the same spot, the Normans built a new cathedral from the year 1085.
Wow.
The construction of the present cathedral began in 1195, featuring the UK's only medieval...
How did you guys do this? Like, what? What were you guys on back in the day? Like, I've said before in the UK, it's like, you have so many castles. So many castles. Like, that's normal. Okay. Look at all these cathedrals. And they're not, they're huge and complicated. And it's like, they're in every, how are there so many? Like, it feels like they're in every city. Like, this feels like a very big deal to build one of these. And yet, the UK seems completely littered with beautiful cathedrals and castles and like how?
Triple spire. Number 4. Very little is known about the Roman history of this city, but the
Okay.
Saxon settlers discovered a fort here and named it Weogorna Sestra, though the meaning of Weogorna is unclear.
Huh.
Nevertheless, the name evolved to Worcester in the
War,
7th century.
Worcester? Geez, I would have said this wrong. I would have said Worcester. Worcester? I'm still not saying it right. This is another beautiful city. Look at this, the overhanging. Also, just the stone, the use of stone and bricks to build so many of this stuff, and you can see the imperfections. You can see the history, the wear and tear. That's cool.
The first cathedral at Worcester was built, which became the seat of the Bishop of the Hwickers. Hwicker was a tribal kingdom
Wow.
existing from the 6th to the 8th century, situated around the area equating approximately to parts of Worcestershire, Warwickshire, and Gloucestershire of today.
This video is just so cool. These cities. Why are the buildings overhanging the road like that? I've never really thought about that. Is it just because you want more space? You want more space down at the road, and then you want to maximize the space of the second floor above the road, and they literally like hang over the road. Is kind of like scary because in America we are not used to that. It looks like the building is going to fall over or something.
Worcester was its capital. With the Viking invasion and subsequent establishment of the Danelaw in the 9th century,
Wow.
Worcester became a burh, i.e., a fortified settlement, as part of a move by King Ethelred and his wife Ethelfled to
Beautiful.
solidify the kingdom of Mercia against the Danish threat to the east.
Man, every single one of these cities has such a cool history. Look at all these people just walking around this place like it's just normal. Look at these buildings are crazy, and it seems to be kind of a mixture here of modern buildings, and it's great that the UK. It seems that you guys really leave a lot of your old buildings and architecture intact, and that just becomes part of the modern day city.
From the late 11th to the 16th century, a second cathedral was built in Worcester in a range of
How
architectural styles from Norman to Perpendicular Gothic.
outrageous!
Number 5.
Oh,
In the 7th century, Bishop Putter became the first bishop of this city
okay.
and is believed to have been responsible for the construction of the first cathedral here. The city is Hereford. The
Hereford.
name Hereford
Hereford? Hereford? How do we pronounce this?
is believed to derive from Old English for army river crossing.
Okay.
It was a frontier settlement which saw various conflicts between the Anglo-Saxons and not only the native Welsh, but the Danes as well.
Oh my god, all these Anglo Saxons and Scandinavian Vikings, and you can clearly see this city was probably purposefully built along this river for, I don't know, defensive purposes. Also, you get access to water. That's cool.
In 1079, the Normans began the construction of the current Hereford Cathedral on the site
1079. 1079. People were putting this together. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to pause on every single cathedral. I feel like they deserve it. Because it's outrageous. Like, that's the only word I can think of to describe it. It almost makes me mad. Like, how did you do this? How? Tell me. Why don't we have this?
of its Saxon predecessor. Work continued into the 13th century. Number 6.
Whoa!
Now, here's where things get a bit technical. In the
Whoa!
eyes of the law, the City of London, with emphasis on the city, refers to the approximate area the Romans inhabited from the 1st century AD.
When was this all built? Somehow this looks old and at the same time extremely modern. Like, I don't even know how. And this is part of London?
Also called the Square Mile. This is actually both a city and a ceremonial county in its own right, and an
Okay.
enclave surrounded by the ceremonial county of Greater London.
Okay.
In the 9th century, Alfred the Great is believed to have come across the old Roman fortifications and turned it into a Saxon fortified settlement. But
Look at what is this place? What is this place? I can't even pay attention to what he is saying sometimes because it's just like mesmerized by the background, the video. That all looks like it was carved out of one stone. I know that's impossible, but
could better withstand Viking attacks than the previous base, believed to be around the Covent Garden area, with 2 street names of today
wow.
providing clues, as in Old English, strand means beach,
Even this thing. Like, what is this thing?
providing clues.
What is this thing? Just sitting out on the road. This is the kind of thing where it's like, you guys just have statues, beautiful, is this a obelisk? Is that what you call it? I don't know. You just have these beautiful old works of art, like, that are 1,000 years old or something, just sitting out on the road. And you just drive by them. Like, that's the kind of thing where I think it really sets the UK apart from the United States. Just that this seems to be so commonplace, this kind of thing.
As in Old English, strand means beach, and Aldwych means old trading centre.
Okay.
Following the establishment of the Archdiocese of Canterbury, a cathedral was constructed in London in the 7th century and was dedicated to St. Paul.
This is the first building that reminds me of American architecture. And now I'm starting to think that what we consider to be old U.S. architecture and design was actually taken from British designs, like this. This looks exactly like something that would be in the United States, like sort of the style of the White House or something, or the buildings of Congress in America. And I'm guessing we took that influence from the UK now that I see this building.
This has gone through various iterations up to the present structure designed by Christopher Wren in the aftermath of the Great Fire of 1666.
Oh, jeez.
Number 7.
Ooh.
Before the Romans came, this area was home to a tribe known as the Cantiaci, from which the name of both the city and its county, Kent, derive.
It's also fun to see so many people out walking around. Like, it almost looks strange to me because in the United States, like, Americans really don't walk anywhere. We take our cars and we drive. So all these video clips have people actually walking around, and it's like, oh, that's nice to see.
The city, of course, being Canterbury. After the Claudian invasion of AD 43, the Romans established a military base, which they called Duravernum Cantiacorum.
Oh my gosh. This style of road with the overhanging buildings on either side, this seems to be very, very popular. Would you call this a cobblestone road or the brick road? But there doesn't seem to be cars really driving up and down the road. Maybe this is just a path. Maybe this is just a pathway for walking. And anyway, it's cool.
Became the principal trading centre for the surrounding area. Around AD 270, defensive walls were put in place, which remain in place to this day, albeit with various reworkings. In the 6th century, the Jutes established the Kingdom of Kent, with Canterbury becoming its capital. In AD 597, St. Augustine arrived in England on...
Oh my god, there's a lot of people out. If you see me shaking my head, it's just because I'm like sort of in disbelief because all of this to me looks like a period film, like a movie set. Like this isn't real. Like this was built to be a historical film. Like that should show you like how accustomed we are to old things in the United States.
On a mission to convert its inhabitants to Christianity. In doing so, Augustine became the first Archbishop of Canterbury. By the 9th century, it
Right,
was firmly
right.
established as the centre of the English Church. This did, however, mark it out as a target for the Danish Vikings across multiple generations. In 1011, Canterbury
Why does this building look like it is literally gonna fall over? Is no one scared? Doesn't the window look slanted? Is that just like the video clip or this building looks like it's gonna fall over to the right? Like I'm, it's making me very nervous.
Cathedral was burnt following the capture of Archbishop Alphege. The cathedral was rebuilt and subsequently burnt on 2 more occasions before being built in stone. It was the site of the martyrdom of.
Oh my god. The cathedral here was burnt down. But besides that, look at this this beautiful river running through the city and all the perfect foliage and plants growing on the side of the building. How do you do that? How you guys really like when you designed these cities like hundreds and hundreds or 1,000 years ago by the sound of it, they were like designed by geniuses or something.
More occasions before being built in stone. It was the site of the martyrdom of Thomas Becket in
Wow.
1170 by the Knights of Henry II.
You can see the
and subsequently
cathedral.
became a place of pilgrimage. Number 8.
Wow.
England's smallest city is also among its oldest, named after the wells in the grounds of the Bishop's Palace and the cathedral. The city of Wells is believed to have.
Wells. I swear. I think they started out with York. They started with York, and I was like, I've heard of that. Now every single city after that, I have never heard of in my life.
Have originated as a small Roman settlement. In the early 8th century, King Ine of Wessex chose Wells as the site of a minster church. By the early 10th century, the Diocese of Wells had been founded by King Edward the Elder. This diocese moved to Bath in the Norman period, but as a compromise, a joint diocese was later set up between the two, but officially returned exclusively to Wells in the 13th century.
And if you look at these cathedrals, there's art within the art. The whole building is a work of art. And then within it is like, there's dozens of statues like built into the side of this place.
Several decades after the construction had begun on Wells Cathedral. Number 9.
I guess every city just needs a cathedral. Is that how it goes?
The first inhabitants of this city are believed to be the Belgae tribe. The Romans arrived here shortly after the Claudian invasion of AD 43.
This is a different kind of style. These buildings look a bit different. I don't know if it's a different time period.
And established their own settlement, which they called Venta Belgarum. The meaning of Venta is uncertain, but believed to be a Brythonic word for market. When the Saxons discovered the abandoned Roman settlement, they named it Venta Casta, meaning Fort of Venta.
This just seems very peaceful. Just a nice, older-looking city, wide road here, sunny day, just peaceful.
Which evolved into Winchester.
Winchester?
In the 7th century.
I've heard the word Winchester. Not really a city, but I feel like a lot of pubs are called the Winchester.
A church was built here, and in AD 676, the Bishop of Wessex moved his seat to Winchester, effectively making it a cathedral. The Normans would later demolish this in the late 11th century and begin to build in its place the present Winchester Cathedral, although work continued until the 16th century. In
Yeah, I mean, if you've been paying attention to the narrator and the history, a lot of this stuff in the UK was invaded, recaptured, burned down, destroyed, rebuilt. It's pretty crazy how like expansive and complicated UK history is. Like every single one of these cities has some crazy story, and how the cathedral was built and all that.
In AD 871, Alfred the Great was crowned King of Wessex and established Winchester as its capital.
Wow.
When England became united as a single kingdom in the 10th century, Winchester remained
I love these shots of the city streets like this. These are some of the coolest besides the cathedral.
the capital until the 12th century. Number 10.
Okay.
In the 1st century AD, the Romans ventured into an area of the southwestern British Isles where they founded Isca Dumnoniorum, a name which references the Dumnoni tribe who predated the Romans and to whom the county Devon is named after. The city was, of course,
Here we
Exeter,
go.
and was situated at
Of course. Exeter. Look at this.
the southwestern terminus of the ancient Roman road known as the Fosse Way. In the 7th century, the Saxons settled in the ruins of the abandoned Roman settlement, which they named Escancester, whose name evolved to Exeter.
Man, there's a lot of similarities actually between these cities. Every building is unique, but there's definitely like the British architecture going on here.
Having been subject to various Viking attacks, it was fortified in the 10th century by King Athelstan.
My
In the
God.
year 1003, disaster struck as the Vikings plundered the city after they were let in through the gates.
What?
Although more or less reduced to rubble, Exeter recovered, and by 1050, Exeter Cathedral
I mean, I've already said this, but I genuinely cannot believe human beings have built stuff like this. Like seriously, that's insane.
was founded. From the early 12th century, it was rebuilt by the Normans.
Huh.
And those are the 10 oldest cities in.
All right. My mind is blown. Like, I knew this was going to be like kind of a historical run through old cities in the UK. I was not prepared for how just utterly beautiful and basically mind blowing what has been constructed and what's been done and what's happened in the UK. Like I said, I'm a bit jealous of UK history. It is so fascinating, so long, so interesting, with so many relics of the past still that exist today, like these cathedrals and the city streets and the alleyways and the overhanging buildings on each. There's so much. So this was really cool. Most of this, like most of these cities, I've never heard of in my life, never seen them before ever. So that was really cool to see some of these for the first time. So anyway, if you enjoyed this, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment with your thoughts on any of these old UK cities and the stuff that they have. That'd be awesome to hear about. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to the UK and learning about the UK culture and seeing things in the UK I have never seen before, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching and see you next time.